In my video titled I Miss Online RPGs, I proposed kind of a lot of things for that subgenre, but chief among them, in order to keep the subgenre alive, was my statement saying that new blood needed to fill the scene in order to keep the subgenre actually going. The very last game I showed off in said video was a little game I found on itch.io called ATLYSS. At that time, there was merely a single-player demo for the game, but as of a week ago, the game just got an early access Steam release for $10. For the record, the game came out way sooner than I ever thought it could, but now that it's finally here, what do we think of it? Allow me to just, throw something out for a sec too, because I do think it warrants talking about at least just a little bit. There's no easy way to say this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there. This game is furry bait. There's really no other way to say it. Now that I've either hooked your attention completely or immediately chased you away, let me specify it just a little bit. The beginning splash screen pretty much sums up this entire aspect rather succinctly. Suggestive, but not explicit. If you're the kind of person that wants to, I don't know, throw tear gas into a furry con, then probably click off of this video right now. You can say your mean words if you want to, but just to let you know, I'm gonna delete the comment because I don't tolerate that here. If you are either neutral or actually quite like the aesthetic, you might be surprised to hear that there's actually a lot more going on. I wouldn't be talking about this game if it wasn't worth talking about after all, and there's a lot going on here that is genuinely really cool. I also just realized that I guess I have furry convention tear gas in my search history now, so, probably on a watch list. Before I forget though, there are actually a couple of options to turn down some of the suggestive parts of the game if they do just make you uncomfortable. There's even seemingly an option that goes in the other direction, and God, ATLYSS, you're really not doing me any favors here. Can you please stop for 5 seconds? Character creation is appropriately MMO-esque. You have an option for 5 races that you can pick, and they actually come with their own racial skills that they get. Other than that though, there's practically no limitations on what race can do what. This goes for both customizations and abilities that you get, including which class you pick. There's even ways to get the racial skills on other races, which is really cool, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Y'all know I had to pick the little rat dude. We get done with the character customization, and we're greeted with the intro of the game. The game's online RPG roots are really deliberately worn on its sleeves, I think. There was a time where the itch page actually said that it was inspired by the Phantasy Star series, although now I can't find it. Maybe it was changed or something, or I don't know, maybe I'm hallucinating. Like so many of its retro inspirations, you can pick up quests, complete dungeons, and make general RPG progression. What I specifically want to spend time talking about though, is what you, the player, are going to end up spending most of your time on. And that of course is the combat. This is absolutely one of those you need to be moving constantly to not get killed kind of games. Any and all combat encounters are fast and frantic. Even slower weapons like hammers fall into this rule. And with all that, movement and positioning is also just as important. ATLYSS seamlessly blends in platform elements into the main game as well, and several of the abilities actually benefit both combat and movement. Some classes are better at it than others, but the point is, this makes for incredibly fast and fun gameplay just all across the board. If you're worried about variety, then don't. There's honestly kind of a lot of options for how you want your character to play. All the different types of weapons have different functions associated with them. You got swords and shields for a good balance of attack and defense, slow but hard-hitting hammers, quick attacking but overall light guitars, and spears which bolster a little bit more reach, and even options for range like a bow or a magic scepter. Including the bell, which is like a hammer equivalent for a magic ranged option. If I'm being real, the bell is probably my favorite weapon in the game. I don't know, it's cool. But we got even more to look forward to as well. After about an hour's worth of gameplay, you'll hit level 10. And this is where you get to properly pick a class. The classes themselves are broken up into 3 that you can choose from. That being Fighter, Bandit, or Mystic. And each individual class is extremely varied just by themselves. Buffs, debuffs, closing the gap, AoEs, all kinds of stuff. Including skills to make it to where your weapon of choice gets more capabilities, such as a charge attack for every weapon. But even still, the classes don't necessarily limit you. All of the weapons can scale off of various stats. And with the right item, you can change the scaling of the weapon entirely to more fit your player preference. And once again, if you are worried by the limited skill list, like in many ORPGs, you can get skill scrolls to forcefully make your character learn a new skill. Many of them can be purchased, but some of them you can just kind of find through random drop chance. These can be things like projectiles, or buffs, or even the racial skills I was mentioning before. You can even get enchantments on your weapon if you want it to give you more stats. And if you're worried about the physical look of your character, then we have a vanity system too. There's just a ton to look forward here, and oh, hold on, does that say gambling?
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it!
Now, admittedly, all of these systems are pretty commonplace in a game with a much bigger budget, but that's sorta just the thing. The devs behind these games is an absolutely tiny team of people who just wanted to make a really good online RPG. And what they have so far is genuinely pretty impressive. The atmosphere and the aesthetic are no slouch either. The music and sounds surrounding this whole game just goes for a really lo-fi atmospheric feeling, which immediately sets it apart from other games just kind of in general. And despite this being an online RPG, if you're the kind of person who worries their save progress is eventually going to get deleted because of a server shutdown or anything, there's no need to worry there. Playing online with other peoples is based on a peer-to-peer connection, so as long as you have a good internet, you don't have to worry about losing anything that your character does, or the equipment that you get, or the skills you unlock. What's more, the game is bafflingly well produced and extremely polished. I'll be completely transparent and say that the game is in early access still. But in terms of any hardcore bugs, the only one I came across was me getting stuck in the gate here during a combat encounter. But other than that, I really haven't encountered anything else of note. In terms of the game's general length and runtime, well, the game isn't exactly finished there. But what's here is just so good. ATLYSS perfectly hits every note that it wants to in terms of retro online RPG fun. And if you've been really wanting that type of game for a whole minute, I'm glad to say that it's genuinely finally here. With its own spin on things, its own polish, its own way of going about it. And you know what? This game just rocks. Kisef and the other devs behind this game still have a lot to prove in terms of making a proper online RPG experience. But if you're interested in following the development of this game, you can get it in the link in the description for a measly $10. You and up to 16 of your friends can go about just conquering the whole game if you want to. Picking different classes, different races, and different weapons to use, and overall just generally having a pretty good time. And I mean, hey, if you're looking for people to play with, then go ahead and join the Discord. I'm going to be playing this game a lot, and hey, maybe we can host our own servers or something. I think that'd be pretty cool. If nothing else, you can join the conversation for whatever topics I bring up in a video, or if you want to suggest your own video topics. If you donate $1 a month to the Patreon, you get exclusive access to little sneak peeks and stuff for new videos that I'm making before the video actually comes out. Donating also lets me read your name out loud at the end of the video. And if you're wanting to hear more from me in the future, why not go ahead and like and subscribe? I upload every Friday, and I cover a really wide range of topics all across my channel. If that sounds like your sort of thing, then I hope to see you again soon. I hope you all enjoyed, and have a good day everybody. Thank you for watching.